On this episode of Captain's Tales, we are on the edge of the Everglades angling for a prehistoric, armor-plated denizen of the crab traps, the Florida triple-tail.
Nice one. This is a 10-pounder here. One of the most unique fish we have swimming around down here. Around just looking on our way home, hoping to see a floater, and we come across another absolute giant triple tail. We're down in the Everglades today, and we're catching triple tail like this.
Throughout maritime history, there have been experts on the water who knew how to navigate and locate their bounty. These individuals held the secrets to where, when, and how. This still holds true today. Get ready for an angling experience filled with sea secrets, fantastic fishing, and great destinations. For on this show, it's only the captain and the camera. Today, we are running south from Naples, Florida, along the edge of the Florida Everglades, making our way toward the southernmost region of this vast wilderness. Our captain is Chris Turner, a Florida-born original whose family ancestry traces back to the early Florida commercial fishermen that made a living and lifestyle on these southern waters. Our target is the triple tail, a saltwater armor-plated feisty fighter that usually thrives around crab trap buoys and floating debris. But today, they are on subsurface treetops.
What I'm doing is I'm taking this soft plastic, and as opposed to putting it on a split shot or with a jig head, I've just nose hooked it with a live bait circle hook or a short shank live bait hook, and I'm just reeling it right across the top of these triple tail. And kind of like catching them on the crab traps, when you get them on the traps, you kind of got to do the same thing, slide it right in front of their nose and get them to hit it. Fish on. Nice triple tail. Little 3 or 4 pound triple tail. One of the things we found out down here is it's not sight casting, it's fishing these dead trees. Something kind of different for fishing in Southwest Florida. We mostly always target the crab traps, and we accidentally caught one on one of these dead trees a couple of years ago. And we caught them up to 12 pounds off the trees. And the nice thing about catching them down here is you don't have to use live bait. These soft plastic gulps work wonderfully. Bogut grip here, and we'll take the hook out of it, and we'll see if we can get another one. Little 3 or 4 pound triple tail. Make some really good dinner for us this evening. Okay, there are some around. Triple tail number 2 off this tree. That's a really small one. That's not the one we wanted to catch. Pretty little panfish. I'm not sure he's quite a keeper. We won't keep him. We'll see if we can get some nicer ones. These fish have spooked and gone down to the bottom, and I think I'm going to change to a jig head or a split shot on this because I'm not seeing them on the top like we were. Yeah, they've just come back up to the top, so I'm going to try another one. Another small triple tail off the same tree. How fun is this, catching these and he Palm Beach released himself. Oh, here's the school pulled out away from the tree a little bit. Really? See what happened, that small hook is turning around in the head of that. I'm going to sore lip them all before we get another one. Too small. Another cute little triple tail. Can't ask for a prettier fish than that. Prehistoric. Their gill plates, their gill raker and their gill plate. Off to grow up. Another fairly nice triple tail, looks like a 3 or 4 pounder. Maybe 5. Something we're not used to doing. Getting them off in the shallow water. Oh, they're a very respectable triple tail.
You want to kneel down on the front deck maybe and like board?
Oh, there you go. There it is. Man, he's spooking. Let me get my pliers here. Hook just fell out. They do have a pretty tough mouth, but to those of us who think we could only catch them on shrimp, believe it or not, they're hitting these Berkeley gulps. Nice 4 or 5 pounder, maybe 4 pounds. Born and raised 3rd generation in Naples. I come from the legendary Turner fishing family. I grew up as a commercial fisherman. I feel like I've got a unique perspective on the fishery around here because I look at it from a couple of different sides. The man who's trying to make his living side, as well as the recreational guy. We're down here below Everglades City, probably 50 miles, and we found a unique way to catch triple tail that none of us in Southwest Florida, at least my friends, had ever tried. And we were fishing along a shoreline at really high tide, and quite frankly, we were red fishing. and we accidentally caught a triple tail. And then we started noticing these triple tail were posting up on the outside points in the deep water on the high tides. And they're not very spooky, and they're pretty darn easy to catch. The technique we're using for catching these things are really simple. We're using a short shank live bait hook. This is an owner, and gulp swimming mullet. With no weight and 40-pound test leader, we're casting it out and just sliding it across these triple tail that are laying on these branches. And without a shrimp or anything, they're just turning down, and we are flat wrecking these fish, quite frankly. And we're using our regular old snook tackle, 4,000 conker with a custom Rich Gordon St. Croix rod. And it does everything it needs to do. My grandfather was Pappy Turner. He was the leader of our family. I grew up fishing with my Uncle Nick, working at the fish house, gassing boats, loading boats, running seine nets, running gill nets for pompano. And I went, and fishing is my life. I went from that to hook and line fishing, fell in love with that as well. And I've caught pretty much every fish that swims in the Gulf waters, short of a yellowfin tuna. And I do this for a living as well as a passion. I'm mostly a backwater guide. I do some offshore trips as well on a different boat, but on my boat here, I'm mostly a backwater guide. I take people, we target redfish, snook, trout, triple tail, sharks, tarp, half days, full days, 3/4 days. I can pretty much tailor any trip to fit whatever your needs. And we love to have kids come along too, because I really like to show kids the beauty and the fun of the fishing. I'm also a Pure Fishing sponsored angler. Pure Fishing owns Penn Reels, Berkeley Gulp, Shakespeare, Abu Garcia. They're some of my sponsors, along with Naples Marina. As well, I fish all the local tournaments around here, from the Backwater Series to we've been fortunate enough to win the Red Snook, the Gene Doyle tournament, a lot of the charity tournaments around here, and we try to fish as many or all of them if we possibly can. Today was probably the best day of triple tail fishing we've ever had. So there were triple tail every place we looked. I got my biggest triple tail, my lifetime biggest triple tail, 16 pounds. Caught some in the 10 to 12 pound range, but the 16 pounder we caught today was the biggest one I've ever caught. If you ask me one word to characterize today, awesome. You can't ask for a better day than that.
Triple-tail position themselves so they can feast on small bait fish and crustaceans that congregate on and around the structure. So Captain Chris adjusts his cast to entice the strike.
Nice one. This is a 10 pounder here. Big triple tail on an artificial. Hard to believe a panfish jumps like that. This is bigger than 10 pounds. This is probably 12 or 13 pounders. Very nice triple tail. Let me get the net here. Are we gonna land this, Chris, or you want to get the net? I'll get the net. I know we're trying to make movies here, but we got at it right there. Oh my. Really nice triple tail. I'm thinking this thing is 16, 17 pounds. Likely the biggest triple tail of my life right here. All right, he swallowed the hook. Go ahead and cut the line. Let's put him on the boga and see what the biggest triple tail of my life weighs. He is a very heavy fish. Oops. See, on the boga, if we can trust our boga grip, it is 15 pounds. One of the coolest fish in the water. These things survived from the dinosaur age, I think. Got skin like armor, and some of the best eating meat you will ever find.
Triple tail get their name from the three rounded dorsal, caudal, and anal fins that look like tails.
Oh. Followed it out like you wanted it.
Not only are they an angling challenge, but also make excellent table fare.
Fish on. Another one of these small triple tail. Very cool. See if we can get a double.
He's making a fuss.
Another great triple tail. This one on a jig. Probably a 5-pounder. Everglades triple tail. Most unique fish we have swimming around down here. And will taste absolutely delicious. We're on our way home. We're cruising around, just looking on our way home, hoping to see a floater, and we come across another absolute giant triple tail. I don't know if he's in the 15, 16 pound class like our other one, but this is another really, really big triple tail. Definitely in the 10-pound class. I thought he had given up. Over 10. Nice. Another absolute giant triple tail. Full fit. Yeah, another absolute giant. Look at this triple tail, will you? Oh my gosh. And talk about barely hooked. Barely, well the net's got him a little bit here. Let's see if you can get that out of the net there, Chris. There we go. Just hooked in the lip. Absolute giant fish. Now that is going to make some good eats. I think he's 13 pounds. Let's put him on the boga and see what he weighs. Well, today I have caught my biggest and my second biggest triple tail. That one's 13 pounds. Thank you, Berkeley Golf.
Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales. Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales, and try one more fishing spot online. Log on to www.captainstales.com.